My name is Billie. I'm from Farmington, New Mexico, and I'm a mixed media artist. I work mainly with encaustic and resin. Encaustic is working with beeswax and damar resin. Beeswax is like a little powder beeswax that's been bleached. And I like it bleached because when you mix it with a dry pigment, it doesn't darken as much as if it would if you use a natural unbleached beeswax, which has more of a yellow brownish tone to it. So when you mix that with the pigment, it darkens a little bit more. And these are the two types. This is with the unbleached beeswax, and this is with the bleach. You can see the color variation. This one's a lot lighter than this one. And and so I get that to get my medium, and I mix my beeswax with damar resin, which is a tree sap, 6-to-1. Pour them into muffin tins, and then as they become solid, I pop them out, and that's my medium. And I add dry pigment to it to get my encaustic, which I can get any color I want as long as I have it in my inventory. So anyhow, what I usually do is when I start working, I put sand, usually sand painting sand, but now I've been using clay from the Cheska Mountains, the red clay that I just love. I just love the color. I want something that's from the res. I put a layer of glue on there, and then I sprinkle the sand, the clay on there to get my my base. And then I'm going to put these pieces of corn that are molded out of made out of encaustic inside of them. And these are little corn on it. And it's such a big representation of Native American culture. Corn is such a big food item, and the pollen on the corn stalk is used for ceremonial purposes. So I like to use a lot of elements that are used for in Native culture. And these are little dragonflies that I made out of the corn, and I situate them, however, and then I'm going to take another piece of wax, the white wax. I'm going to pour it onto here and give it a I never know what's going to happen. I mean, when I put these down, I had to curve the wings up to kind of keep the wax off of it. And after the wax becomes solid, I can curve the wings back down. Okay, back again with the encaustic. Melt it down. They have little muffin bread loaf tins. It's perfect for it because I use so much of it. The bigger the pan, the better. You see, it's all mixed in together with the medium and the dry pigment. And I pour. Oh, what should I pour? Pour that into the mold. Yeah, I want parts of this little part of the sand to show. I don't want it to completely disappear. And then the last layer I'm going to be putting down is the art resin, which is 1 part resin and 1 part hardener. Both in equal parts. I mix them together, and then I pour that into here. Then I stir it for 3 minutes, and I add a little bit of color to it to get a tint. And that's going to be the final layer. But before I do that, I'm going to let this cool down, become solid, and I'm going to take those wings and kind of bend them back down a little bit. And this goes into the big container. And I've got plastic on the table because it can get messy, and the resin comes off really nicely off of the plastic. It won't stick to it. This thing, the bottom just nice and flat. You can get that stir stick all the way around it. Stir it for 3 minutes. Add a few drops turquoise to it. Stir it up and pour. And here's the final piece with the starting off with the clay from the Cheska Mountains, and then the next layer of encaustic over the top of that with the elements that are made out of encaustic, and then a final layer of the tinted resin on top of it to get it to give it the final layer of all 3 layers. Thank you.